of my fruit flies. I'm just setting you guys up on a tripod. And we're gonna go move back into the kitchen. Sorry it took so long to go back on live, but a friend of mine called me and invited me over for dinner, so I had to run. And so should be all set here. I'm just gonna clean up after my cat's dinner and start getting the fruit flies, getting these cultures done. So, yeah, so we're gonna start. I'm gonna set them up, back up over here, and go from there. So these are way cooled down now, nice and cool. The media is all nice and wet, which is great.
It's really motion. Happy life, happy life. All in one place. There is a skinnier version out there. Having the bank is kind of a turn on. Being at home and having all of it. All reality, we TV. Bad as it was.
Hi, babes. So, all right, so like I said, this time around I used Tink Man Hertz. Fruit fly media. What I did here, because his bags for his media, it didn't come like a Ziploc kind of a thing. So I put it in folded it down and put it in a Ziploc bag just to keep it fresh.
They had it. They did it. Margaret had the hilltop by the nut. I didn't know it. And yes, we paid a price. But let me make it right with you.
Alright, so I'm going to grab, this is the Excelsior it came with, and I'm going to be using this one to add to each one of these fruit fly cultures.
You're the man now. I am. I knew it. I knew you could do it. And he was a big personality, I get it, but too unconventional. Pulled his punches. Exactly.
All you need is about a handful of this, just ball it up. It does make a huge mess, that's why I'm doing it today, because after the lights on my tanks go off and my cats are all settled, I gotta clean my apartment. This shit makes like a major mess, but it is what it is. So, this should make about 3, maybe 2. So, all you gotta do here, clump this up to about the size of your palm, like a ball. Roll it all out. This is called Excelsior. Place it into the cup. Like so. Do the same thing with all the other ones.
No, I've seen too much. I've suffered too much. I've survived too much for it to end like this. I've lost myself to vow, seen through the storm, and I have been reborn as a certified shit kicker. I make things happen. I've always made things happen. And it's not going to end with me wandering off into the wilderness with my dick in my hand. I put things together when everything fell apart. And I can do it again.
Let me just mute my TV real quick.
Who the hell are you to tell me I'm done? You think you have the juice? Well, I am the juice.
Sorry about that. I didn't even realize the TV was still going. I was just still not paying attention. Do the same thing here. Now, this shit makes like a serious mess, but it's like I said, just gonna clean it up in a few anyway. Certain days I like to make my cultures, how I know, are like my cleaning days where I clean everything up in my house, and because this stuff makes a mess. Same thing with every one of them. Boil yourself up about a handful size of the Excelsior and put it right into the cup. Same thing. And same thing with this one. Now comes the fun part. Adding the fruit flies. I'll be right back. So I already got my cultures that are already blooming, and that's how I'm going to make my new fruit flies. Myself a cup. Break out calcium stuff. I find it easier to add whatever calciums you're using. This is carotenoids. And I'm going to also mix it with a little bit of calcium just to keep the fruit flies down. Because when you add the carotenoids to the fruit flies, which is a supplement for your frogs, which is very important to give them, they tend to still kind of climb out of the container. So I add a little bit of calcium in with the carotenoids, and it stops them from climbing out. So I always add mine first into the container, as it helps them from climbing out. The way I used to do it, I would add the flies into the container first, then the calcium, and it would just made a mess. So A little bit of calcium, that's all it needs. I'm going to start off with melanogasters. Take what's left of this. And this culture's done. That's in garbage. And then this culture here. Definitely a little bit of a technique to do that. So then what you got to do is like a little bit of what's called shake and bake. And you get this way here, you get all of the supplements all over the little fruit flies. These are melanogasters, so I'm going to add them to my fresh cultures, my fresh ones that I just made. I'm going to add like approximately 75 to 100. It's totally impossible to count them, so I just do an estimation as to how many I put in there. And let me grab my tops. Close them in. So I figured that's, yay, about that many. It's just enough. Close the top. That one's done. Same with the next one. Add the flies. Close the top. Make sure your tops are nice and secured, tight. Same thing with that one. And then whatever I got left, I'm going to go dump into one of my frog tanks. I'll be right back. And now I'm going to do the same thing with the Heidi. My carotenoids in. Add a little bit of calcium. I'm done with these. Let's seal them off. I'm also going to be changing these tomorrow. So maybe I'll do a live stream tomorrow on changing my freshening up my supplements. And then it's the same thing with the Heidi. See how many we get out of each one. This one is just about done. Just fine. A little shake. Same thing, do your little shake and bake. Get all the calcium all over the little fruit flies in there. Hope you guys can see them moving around. Same thing, add them into each one. Let me get my tops ready. There we go. Come on, tap. Oh, not like that. Great. That wasn't supposed to do that. Trying to do this as fast as possible, that's why. So put some more in here. Top, same thing here. Plenty. And same thing, close the top. I'll be right back. I'm gonna dump the rest of these into another tank. I'm just going to put this one's done. Toss that one away. Put these back and then I'll put the other ones away. 2 more that were no good. Sometimes people keep the cups and rewash them, but I don't. So these are my brand new cultures, all 6 of them. So right here, and bring you guys with you. Put them away. So I keep them in here in my setup in here. I got Heidi eyes here, Melanogasters there. And back, I got the older ones to the front, and the newest ones I put towards the back. I do tend to keep them a little separated as much as I possibly can in these bins. Seems to be working well. Plus I have diatomaceous earth on the bottom, just to prevent mites and so forth. So, and I'll be right back with the melanogasters. Anxious to see how this new media does. It's the first time I've used this. Like I said, this is Tinkman Herbs. It's called Smoothie. And then same thing. Put the new ones to the back and the older ones to the front that are still usable for feeding my frogs. I looked through their tanks today and they actually still have flies in there from my last feeding. So really don't have to feed them probably until tomorrow, but that's a whole nother thing. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, so that's how you make fruit fly cultures for your dart frogs or other animals that reptiles or amphibians that need fruit flies. So all right, everyone, thanks for coming in, and I'll see you in the next one.